Today's question comes from Ruth in Virginia. My debit card has had fraud 2 times in a 2-week period. It's time consuming to change all the auto payments and to get a new card. Some people say that credit cards are harder for thieves to do fraud than on a debit card. What is your experience and opinion with this? Is there any truth to that theory? Also, some people recommend using a credit card for all purchases and paying it off at the end of the month. I know that you advise against doing that method. Can you shed some light onto why this is an unwise method? Happy to. I love that you called it a theory because that's honestly what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. You asked for my opinion and my experience. I have never, ever had problems with using a debit card, and I have experienced much fraud. There's been plenty of times where I saw the transactions from Best Buy popping up on my screen as it was happening around Christmas time. And I just called the bank and I said, someone's got my information. This is a fraudulent purchase. I mean, lickety split, the money was back in my account. And you can look, and I was just talking with Dave about this. I think a lot of people get hung up because if you look at some of these acts, the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, and some of these things, it'll say there's some slight differences, but at the end of the day, the actual contract on your MasterCard, right, on that trumps that. And it's zero liability. It's the same.
If you look up MasterCard and Visa and look at the actual agreement online, it says for debit cards and credit cards, you have the exact same fraud protection. You have zero liability.
Zero.
Now, if your debit card in a 2-week period you had fraud 2 times, your credit card would have had fraud 2 times.
Right.
Because wherever you're using that thing is being picked up somewhere.
It just means somebody has your information.
Yeah.
Now,
and if they get your credit card information, you're going to have to change your credit card. Mm-hmm. Same thing. You're going to get the same phone call from the same bank, and they're going to say, we have activity that does not look like it is your normal activity, and we're going to stop all charges until we verify this. You get that from debit cards. You get that from credit cards. With my bank, it's an automated thing. They call up, and I have to push one, and then I have to push about 3 things. Then I verify that. So, I was down in Mexico, Cabo, a few weeks ago, and they're like, what are you doing in Mexico? You're a hillbilly. And I'm like, so they, weird charge. And I'm like, no, not weird charge. It was me. I'm here. And so, yeah. But the algorithms follow the pattern of the purchases for a debit card or a credit card. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing. In either case, credit card or debit card, you are not liable for a transaction that was not yours if you have a Visa or a MasterCard product. Mm-hmm. That is their agreement with you, period. So in either case, if Best Buy or, I don't know, whatever place in Taco Bar, Mexico, right, is showing up, that means somebody got your number and it wasn't you. In this case, it was me. In your case, it wasn't you. But if they let that money go, the bank lets that money go out of your account if it's a debit card or just against your credit card, they can't get it back. They lose money.
That's right.
So and they lose the exact same money on a credit card fraud as they lose on a debit card fraud. And so they run the same theft and fraud algorithms to track to see if you're doing. It's no different. It's no different. So if you don't like having to change everything and get a new card with all your auto payments with a debit card, you're going to have the exact same thing happen with your credit card. It has nothing to do with debit or credit. It has to do with where you're using the stupid thing.
Right.
You're running somewhere where somebody's picking the thing up. And you need to look at somewhere you're going where somebody's got a fraud reader or something, a card reader that's stuck in the thing. And
or your passwords suck.
Somebody's
getting your information. I know some of the guys around here, they like privacy.com because you can buy things online and you can basically use a incognito card, so they're never seeing your information. So that's an option for people who are looking. But I like and I kind of want to address, Dave, the second part of this question, which is saying some people recommend, and this is the thing that everybody is doing, and since everybody's doing it, don't do it, which is I put all of my purchases for the month on my credit card just to make it easy, Dave, so I don't have to think about it. I just go to the store, swipe it, and then at the end of the month, I can just pay it off when my check comes in.
I put all my purchases on my debit card and it comes out of my checking account. What's the difference?
Well, one day
Oh, I just used my money. That's all.
you got to
and
have
at the
a
end of the
brain.
month, you're going to use your money to pay it off.
Yeah.
That's dumber than
You just
a
have
rock.
to have your brain turned
That's
on.
absolutely dumber than a rock.
You don't want to have your brain turned on.
That's
You
just
want to just be able to
dumb.
swipe it
That's
and
just
not think
dumb.
about it.
I don't want to think about my money, and I want to have some.
But yet
this
magically,
is oxymoronic.
you'll have just enough from your paycheck to pay it off. We know that's wrong.
Let me help you with this.
We know that's not the case.
People who don't think about money don't have any. That's how this works.
$1 trillion, Dave, of credit card debt. That's what we're at.
Yeah, we're new record. New
983
record
billion.
in card debt too.
And the default rate is sky high.
You know what? Me and you, we got a long career ahead of us.
We sure do.